Hello, welcome to my messy fingers. This is Charlie. I am going to feature today an album that I made using Stamperia's Art of Travelling collection. This collection was sent to me by an online store called Scrap in Create, and they have been extremely generous with what they send. This album took literally the full 22 single-sided 12 by 12 pack and the double-sided 12 by 12 core design. Took every sheet. I had some larger pieces left over that I've used as some inserts, and we'll see them as we come along here. But this album does measure 9 by 9, and I have a 1 7/8 spine. And in this collection came the ephemera pack, and it has a lot of large items, so I incorporated them into the book as best as I could. So here on the front, one of the ephemera pieces I have is this little Volkswagen Bug, and it's got some suitcases on the top. There's a sheet of paper that there's this cobblestone road that runs through in front of these buildings, and I thought it would be a great way to make it appear that they're off on their traveling. I took one of the cutouts and put the lamppost here. These here suitcases are also from the ephemera pack. Here's a floral I cut out, some tickets. This is a stack of suitcases that I cut out, and then some more tickets. The balloon here is popped up, and then this is Travel Story. In with the collection came a bag of brass items, little trinkets, and I did use the smaller filigrees here on the front corners. On the side, these items here are from your cutout page. And then in the back, we have this beautiful paper that has a collage of a lot of stuff travel related. I did choose a gold ribbon, and I'm using a cardstock called Harvest, and then a mid green in between it and the paper collection. So when we open this up, the very beginning here on the left-hand side, I created a tuck. This is magnet closed, but here's where you can tell your journaling story. And rather than waste this piece of paper, I decided to make a flap so you can continue your story on. And then I chose there was an opposite side and it had a stack of suitcases. One of the cutouts, I took the suitcase, and it is also a tuck. So you have a nice place here on this front side to tell your journaling story. On this side, here is one of the big ephemera pieces, the rail car or the train, whichever you want to call it. And then we have another ephemera piece, route map and guide. I did use a die from my own die collection. You can use any die that you want if you choose to make this album. And then we've got a little tuck down here for some smaller items, or look, it'll hold this quite well. And then when you open this up, this is a upper tuck, and this has a bottom tuck for some smaller items. You can put some photos in there, and that way they're not committed. You can actually move them around until you find the rhythm that you want within the album. This beautiful page would make great for your own hand journaling, but we'll also store some very large photos. And part of what was left over, I made it into a card, and we have a tuck. And I've used some gems that are out of my own collection. And then over here on this flap, we have using some of this paper, made a card, a tuck here with an ephemera piece, and this is a continuation of a trim out of that piece of paper there. And then here in the center, we have a pull-out card I literally had enough that when I got to the end of the album that I could cover both sides, so I did. And then here we have a beautiful piece. I just find this to be so scenic, and it's given a large display of items you might see in a country atmosphere if you're out traveling around a little small city boutique. And then this piece continues here, and I did create a tuck here. So then when you open this up, over here we have another beautiful collage of paper, and here is another card for a tuck. And then we're going to open this up, and this is a tuck over here. And then I just left this alone. I thought I loved all the sayings. And then when you open this up, this is a tuck. It's a top and bottom tuck for your photos. And this here, we have a nice big belly band, and then we've got a small pocket down here that you can put some small items in. This will hold some large items. And then here on this side again is another tuck that's top and bottom. And then in the center, we've got a nice pocket. You can still put photos here. Got a couple of cards. And then down here, when I cut this strip to fit this, there was this piece left over, so I went ahead and trimmed it out and popped it up on some pop-ups. So there's a little bit of depth going on there. On this page, multiple flaps, because I wanted to try to take advantage of multiple means of travel. So here at the bottom, this is all one 12 by 12 sheet. I just simply cut it to accommodate what I wanted to try to do here. So here we have car travel. We have travel by boat. That's ephemera. We have travel by train, and that's ephemera. And then over here, we've got all the routes. And then there's the camera for taking all the photos. And here's the airplane, the other means of travel. And then when you get inside here, a nice big pocket, but you can still put some decent photos in there. And then here's the other, the other pull-out. Put it in this way. I apologize if this is kind of up in the air for you. And then here, taking that same cobblestone that we saw on the front of the book, but just kind of a different appearance to it, I have experiences that leave a mark. So some storefronts, some apartment, maybe some housing, living, in some place, maybe Japan, Norway, France, Holland. So this is an ephemera piece, and I've popped it up to give a little bit of depth here. So when you open this up on this side, I took one of the cutouts, mounted it on some cardstock so there's a little bit of stiffness to it, and then pasted it there. And we have a nice pocket with some beautiful door fronts from buildings. Then on this side, we have a small tuck here. And then I took one of the trim pieces off the bottom of one of the 12 by 12s, created a pocket over here. This half is the other half to this here. And then just some cards I've matted. And then I've taken some of the cutout cards and created a couple of flaps so you can journal or put photos here. And then we have a nice big deep pocket here for storing your items. And then on the last page, I love this scene. To me, it's just so serene. It's beautiful. I used some crackle glossy accents here on the lampshade, popped up the word just relax. And by the way, I did that here to the front as well. And then when you open this up, over here, we have a tuck using an airplane. I thought it would be really cool to try to simulate that being in the sky overhead. So I did glue it here. So we have a tuck, and then using one of the remaining large items, that's the ephemera hotel, it's sitting in the front of the bank of trees. And then when you open it up on this side, we have this car as if it's traveling down a roadside with the trees flanking on each side, and it's a nice tuck. Here we have a flap that opens. You can journal or put a photo here, but there's also a small tuck, and I used one of the words, quoted sayings, and cut it out and put it on there. And then this is going to flap up, and up here we have a belly band. So this is a card, a cutout, life experiences, and here are some of the large leftovers that I had that I just simply made some photo mats for, 5 by 7. And then when you get down here, the same thing. We have this card here. It's got a front pocket on it, and I cut out the word explore. So you got a nice little tuck, and you've got a place to do some journaling or photos. And then close that up, open this up, and again down here we have a large belly band that we can store some larger items in or some larger photos, and then another one of the tags. So then this closes up like this. And this is my take on the Art of Traveling by Stamperia. And again, Scrap and Create provided me these papers. Would love it if you'd swing on over to their online store. I've got the link down below in the description, and send them some love. If you pick up the collection from them, you'll pick up, while supplies last, a bag full of brass goodies that you can use throughout the album. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really would love it if you would. Would love to have you play along and be there when I post new albums. And I've got a few more coming up. I'll be doing some short videos to show you what I'll be working on. So until then, bye-bye.